Hey everybody, JTISREBORN here, and welcome to another edition of my Batman the Animated Series reviews. This time we're going to be taking a look at episode number 25, The Clock King. Okay, so this is the first episode to feature Temple Fugate, aka the Clock King. It's basically like the origin of this villain. So, the beginning of this episode has this guy named Temple Fugate, who is a guy who's all about time. He's thinking about, what he's got to do. He's has everything in check, and then all of a sudden he's like paranoid about some case that he has to deal with, like a court date, and then he's in the subway with or whatever with Mayor Hill. He's talking blah 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 blah, and Hill's like, "Hey, why don't you go take a breather, man? You look really stressed out for your court date thing." And he's like, "Fine, I'll take it." Because like he's always been super efficient about time, everything he has a set schedule, and if you fuck it up, then he's going to be pissed off at you. So that's kind of what he does. He finally decides, you know what, I'll take a breather, and pretty much everything goes wrong for him. All his papers get scattered. He's ready to pick one up. A dog barks at him, and he falls into like this puddle or a fountain or whatever. And then you have these kids that are just being assholes about him. And, if he had this important court date, and I know he was going to take his coffee, he probably should have just left his paperwork in his office. I mean, if he's just going to be taking a coffee break anyways, he might as well have just waited till, he was in his office. Or, I mean, kept his shit in his office if it was that important so he wouldn't risk, losing all of it. And just taking his coffee outside. That's all he had to do. You know what I mean? So I don't really feel that much sympathy for him. And plus, too, I don't get why he's so pissed at Mayor Hill. Because, hey, jackass, you're the one who took the advice. You made the decision. It's not like he forced you to do it. So, this villain's, motivations are kind of weak. But what he does is kind of funny. So he pretty much just acts like an asshole to Mayor Hamilton Hill for, the entire episode, screwing things up, messing with everything. And then he finally goes toe-to-toe with Batman, and Batman's after him, and then, Fugate's like, "Oh, Batman, I calculated the time it would take you to do this, this, and that." And the thing about this, too, is, he's able to, avoid punches from Batman because he knows the exact time it takes for Batman to punch. What if Batman, holds his punch in the air and flinches or something? I mean, I don't get that this guy would be able to have, all these martial arts skills and stuff like that. But, yeah, so some other stuff happens. He knocks some stuff down. He, destroys a subway at one point. There's a cool Batman transformation scene where he's going after, Fugate, for the first time. He runs up the stairs and, he's in his, Bruce Wayne attire, then he switches into his Batman attire. It's kind of cool how that happens. It's almost, instantaneous, something like that. But anyways, then he fights Fugate. Now, Fugate's got, he's got an interesting design, though. He's got, a top hat. He's got, one of the hands on a clock that uses as kind of like a cane. His glasses have, the hands of a clock, kind of, they resemble that. I think it's kind of cool and neat. But yeah, this is the first big episode with Fugate. He also appeared in Time Out of Joint, and then he also appeared in the Task Force X episode of Justice League Unlimited. But I haven't seen the episode in so long, so I can't really remember all that happens in it. But yeah, so Fugate goes there. He goes toe to toe with Batman. The ending of the episode, of this one in particular, has him kidnapping Mayor Hill, and Mayor Hill's strapped to this clock. So this ending kind of reminds me of one of my favorite movies, which is known as The Great Mouse Detective, where Basil is facing Ratigan at the London Clock Tower. Well, Fugate has him strapped to these giant hands, and he's like, "At 3:15 you will be squashed, Mayor. Ha 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 ha." And then all of a sudden they're fighting. Batman comes in, and he manages to save Fugate. And then basically, the whole clock tower starts to go down, and then you never see what happens to Fugate, and you assume that he's, out of there. And then Batman's just like, you know what? It's only a matter of time before Temple Fugate strikes again, and that's what'll happen later on down the road. I haven't seen that other Fugate episode in a really long time, so I can't really remember what happens in it. But this is one where I've watched a bunch of times, so I know the deal with Fugate in this one. But yeah, so this is the first episode with the Clock King. He's an interesting villain. Definitely not one of my favorites, but one that I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of curious to see where we go from here with this guy. I definitely would like to see more. So that's kind of how I'm at with the Clock King. I actually because I'm reading like the wiki on it right now, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, he definitely did appear in that Justice League episode. I just gotta remember kind of what happens with it. But yeah, he's primarily he's not necessarily like a Batman villain. The Clock King is in general. He's more of a Green Arrow villain than a Batman one, but it's still kind of neat to see him, and it was a fun little episode. I think this one's pretty good. I think it's better than the last few I've watched, which was Vendetta and Fear of Victory. I like the idea of like the Clock King and how he knows pretty much everything there is to know in terms of time that could make an interesting threat, which he does in this episode. So what I'm trying to say is it's a solid episode, definitely worth checking out if you're a Batman the Animated Series fan, especially for like a smaller C-list type villain known as the Clock King. And it would have been kind of neat to see more of him throughout the show. But from what we got, I enjoyed him just fine. So, yep, that's going to wrap it up for this episode review of Batman the Animated Series. Come back next time as we're going to be taking a look at episode number 26, which is An Appointment in Crime Alley. That one should be fun. So, I'll see you later. Goodbye, and peace.